I start. So we are recording this, so you probably just got a notification about that, but this is a lunch and learn all about RiverWoods Manchester. My name is Katie Hendrickson. I'm one of the sales counselors here. I'm joined by Jen Torgersen. She's the other sales counselor, and one of our residents, Linda Fish-Brown. We're just going to tell you a little bit about our community, what we have to offer, and if you have any questions at all during the webinar, feel free to type them into the Q&A box. Everybody who is watching is muted, so the Q&A box is how we are going to communicate with each other. And then at the very end of the webinar, we will answer anybody's questions, and you can type in your questions there as well. All right, so let's get started. So once again, if you have any questions, feel free to type them in the Q&A, and we'll answer them all at the end of the presentation. So we start out with this beautiful shot of our community. This just has me in awe every time I see it. But this is where our community is located. We are in Manchester, but I like to say we're in the best of both worlds. Because as you can see from this picture, the immediate vicinity is wooded and rural and very surrounded by nature and hills. And yet we are a couple minutes from downtown Manchester. So you get city life and restaurants and theater opportunities at your disposal. It's really a great location. The history of the community starts about 30 years ago. We have three RiverWoods communities: RiverWoods Exeter, RiverWoods Manchester, and RiverWoods Durham. Exeter was the very first community. It started in 1994 by two ladies sitting at a breakfast table, just wanting to have an active life and yet know that they had care available to them should they need it. So it started with the Woods campus, and then the Ridge, and then the Boulders were created. So there's three different buildings at RiverWoods Exeter. RiverWoods Manchester was the next community. The building itself is about 31 years old. It started out as a women's aid and relief society, and then was just a nursing home, and then over the years became a full continuing care retirement community. It had a couple names in the meantime of Pearl Manor, Hillcrest Terrace, and then Birch Hill being the most recent one. We kept the Birch Hill name when RiverWoods bought it about 6 years ago, and then made the official name change to RiverWoods Manchester about a year ago. And then our newest community is RiverWoods Durham. So that's about 3 to 4 years old. And then we always leave SPE for someplace else. There's no plans in the works right now for another community, but we always leave it on the horizon that we could be creating a new community somewhere else to be accessible to even more people. So that is sort of the timeline of our three communities. In terms of where exactly we're located, this is a great image as well, because it really gives you a glimpse of how it's very surrounded by trees and ruralness for the community, and yet just minutes to downtown Manchester. It's about a 20-minute drive to Concord, New Hampshire, and about a half hour to Nashua, very close to the coast, and about an hour drive to Boston. So you have so many different major cities in your immediate vicinity. It's really quite nice. So this is a shot of the exterior of our building. This is our main entranceway. It actually looks very different right now. This is a picture of how it was up until before February of this year. We're just finishing up getting all new siding and a whole new roof. So it's very, very exciting and just gives a clean and updated look. We used contractors that are local to Manchester, and it's very, very beautiful right now. So this is a picture of that renovation. So the new color schemes for the outside you can see in this picture. Since RiverWoods has bought this community, we've put $22 million into making it a RiverWoods standard. We really put a lot of effort into the visuals of the community, but also what we are promising to residents. So we put a lot of time and effort and thought into making this just a really wonderful community with really great guarantees. Here's a bird's eye view of our actual community. I always like to say, if you looked overhead, it looks like spokes on a wheel, or a spider with legs. You have your heart of the community and then wings that branch out in every direction. So it is one building with 4 cottages. And what that means is you have everything from independent living to nursing support all under one roof. You don't need to leave the building to get assisted living or memory support or nursing support. It is just down the hall. So it's a really wonderful setup and a really beautiful community building. So now I'm going to pass it on to my coworker, Jen, and she's going to tell you a little bit more about what's in the surrounding areas and more of the details in what we offer within our community.
Thanks, Katie. Welcome, everyone. I just wanted to say that we're about halfway between Manchester and Concord as the crow flies. It's a really neat location, just 2 or 3 miles from each highway and quick, easy access to everything, just like Katie was saying. Right down the road from us is Doris Pond, where people can put a kayak or a canoe in. And there's all sorts of, lakes and rivers and streams in the area for water activity, parks, walking trails in the area, of course, beautiful Nature Conservancy close by, which we'll tell you about in just a moment, shopping, Capitol Theater for the Arts up in Concord, theaters here in Manchester, and of course, Delta Dental Stadium, so baseball games, art galleries, you name it. So it's a wonderful location with a lot going on. So the Nature Conservancy, this is the Cedar Swamp Preserve, which is 640 acres. It's actually across the street from our community, part of the acreage, and half-mile down the road from our community entrance, there are 3 miles of trails, one of which is an accessible trail. Some of our residents are in the Nature Preserve every single day. One actually has a camera in there and sends a blog out to about 100 people on a very regular basis and posts pictures of all the wildlife and the flowers and everything that's available to our residents right across the street in the woods. He goes off trail. Some people do the trails, but it's a really nice mix, and people just consider it a blessing that all of that is available so close to our main entrance right here in Manchester. And these are some of the pictures from the Cedar Swamp Preserve. And if you're interested in that, we have residents that could show you around in the Nature Preserve. They give tours. Some of those tours have moved in because of the Nature Preserve. So there's a lot of opportunity there, and it's just beautiful. This is a picture of our hiking group. Actually, more residents have joined that group, and they go on different locations on the weekends. But just as a quick overview of RiverWoods Manchester, we've been around for over almost 150 years. Our organization started way back with the Women's Aid and Relief Society in the Manchester area. And as Katie said, this particular building was built in the early 90s. But it's an organization that's not for profit, a charitable continuing care retirement community, or CCRC. We have on our campus here 134 independent living apartments and 4 cottages actually. And then there's a 63 suite assisted living, memory support, and nursing community just on the other end of the building called The Lodge. And it's all under the same roof. So it's just so convenient for everyone. Again, RiverWoods Group community has been here since about 2016. We affiliated and we are now part of this 3 community system as RiverWoods Manchester. And there is strength in numbers, better buying power. The RiverWoods Group has taken over and centralized some of the services for the different campuses, such as human resources, IT, and it's saved a lot of money on different projects and financing and that sort of thing. So RiverWoods Manchester is the only type B CCRC in the system. In a type B community, it's more targeted insurance product where you only pay for the care you need and you're not paying for future care that you don't end up using. The care you do receive on our campus, you pay a below market rate for. So you get a lifetime discount on the monthly fees in each level of care at the lodge. We are, again, an insurance contract, not a purchase, not a real estate product. We're basically insuring your care for the rest of your life, but there is a tax deduction available because of that. Part of the monthly fee and the entrance fee is considered prepaying for medical expenses in the future. So there are tax deductions available. If that applies to you, you can talk to your sales counselor, Katie or myself, about that and what those deductions might be here. That's as decided by an outside auditor every January. A CCRC like this is a gift to your children. It's care coordination for life, starting in independent living, and makes life so much easier as you age for yourself and for your family. And it's a smart financial decision because of all the discounts on healthcare and having so much included in the monthly fees here.
And actually, an additional portion of this is if you have long-term care insurance, it works very well with a type B contract. So it's not necessary to move in here, but it's just even more beneficial for a type B CCRC.
All right, thanks, Katie. So RiverWoods Manchester is the only CCRC in New England with a flexible 70% entrance fee refund. So what that means is you have an option. You can leave that 70% refund to your estate, or at the point where one or both of you, if you're a couple, move permanently to the lodge for healthcare, you have the option of continuing to pay what you were paying in independent living plus a small annual increase. And the difference in the monthly fee, well below market rate, in assisted living through nursing can be drawn down on your 70% refund, allowing you to use that refund while you're alive. And that is a rare and unusual program, one of a kind in New England, and it's a great option. In particular, a lot of people without children like this because they can spend down their refund. So certainly ask us if you have questions, detailed questions about this. Basically, you move in when you're independent before your health needs change. So you have to be in pretty good shape to move in. There is a medical assessment that's part of the application process. We are a 62 or better community. So you must, one or both of you must be 62 to apply, move in, or even a wait list. Again, care coordination is offered throughout your lifetime. We have a wellness clinic in independent living with a nurse practitioner 5 days a week, which really takes away the need to see your physician as much outside the community, and a social worker in assisted living. So they are part of the team who helps coordinate your care with the director of nursing and the director of community life. And they meet weekly to review any resident needs. And it's just really, really thorough and helpful program and team to be on your side if your health needs do start to change. Everyone in independent living qualifies for 30 free days every year for a short-term respite stay here at RiverWoods Manchester. We have 2 rooms set aside at all times just for our independent residents in case they have a short-term medical need, maybe a knee surgery, pneumonia. Just need some extra care. If you're being discharged from the hospital, the social worker can talk to the discharge planner, help put that in place, and then come back to independent living after getting free care. So that is really a gift, and it's part of the monthly fee in independent living. And then these are the monthly discounts off of market rate that you would qualify for here. $1,000 off a month for each person off of assisted living. The memory support, $1,500 off market rate every month, and $2,000 off the market rate every month for every person in independent living for nursing care. So you're not paying for care until you need it here, and if you do, it's well below market rate. These are some of our fun residents. It is a broad range of ages and backgrounds and wonderful people. It's a wonderful neighborhood, a very, very friendly, welcoming group of residents here, and no matter who you are and what your background is. It's just a wonderful community. And Linda, I think you would probably agree. It's, there's a broad range of backgrounds and interests here.
It is. It's very diverse. You never know who you're going to be talking to. Of course, it's nice if we all wear our name tags, at least in the beginning, so we can keep track of one another, but very diverse community and very, very friendly.
Right. I was going to say engineers and professors and teachers and CEOs and doctors and lawyers moving in and secretaries. It's just a wonderful mix of people, and everyone is welcome. And there's all sorts of things going on in the activities calendar as well. And we'll tell you a little bit more about that in just a moment. We have a wonderful new fitness room that RiverWoods added onto our community a couple of years ago. We have individual classes. There's a full-time fitness coordinator and also another part-time fitness coordinator. So 6 out of 7 days a week, there's classes, there's one-on-one help in the fitness room, somewhat like a personal trainer. That's all included in the monthly fees here. And a wonderful campus for walking and snowshoeing and things like that. We are pet friendly. Cats, dogs, even a lizard here in the community. We do have a pet policy. So if you have a pet and you're interested in moving in, just let us know and we can get that policy to you. And these are some of the folks that are out walking the campus and walking across the way in the nature preserve.
And Linda, I think this is a stunning photo. So
it is.
Of the dog. The dog.
Both of you.
Not at all. It's wonderful.
And she loved it here, by the way. She's since passed, but she loved it. She loved everybody and everybody loved her. So it was wonderful to be able to bring her. And then it was also wonderful that we were able to take in another dog for someone that had to move to assisted living. And we were without a dog. She had a Cocker Spaniel. It was very special to her. And we offered to take him, and he was with us for 2.5 years. So it was a win-win for everyone, the dog, us, and the lady.
You were so nice to do that. And she got to see her dog still.
All the time.
It's wonderful.
Yeah.
It was really, really nice.
Mm-hmm.
And residents will, pet sit for one another. So it really is a great community in that regard. So if you have a pet that you are thinking about bringing along with you and just aren't sure how to handle if you want to go on a trip or something like that, you have a vast number of people here who love pets and would happily take care of them for, a week at a time or, longer, shorter. It's really quite a lot of fun in that regard.
And they can also suggest vets in the area, dog daycare, things like that become really helpful to people, especially when they're moving in from out of state, which a lot of people are these days. Some more photos of our residents in the dining room, the fitness room, Courier Art Museum right down the road. We have a couple of residents in the community here who are docents at the Courier Art Museum and give tours of the Frank Lloyd Wright House, the Zimmerman House, and I believe the Manchester Museum just actually purchased another Frank Lloyd Wright house recently. So great opportunities like that here in Manchester as well. So the apartments here at RiverWoods Manchester undergoing brand new renovations as they have opened up over the last couple of years. We're really gutting these apartments, putting in new kitchens, new cabinets, countertops, granite quartz. There's stainless steel. There's a couple other options, other colors. They're full kitchens with full-size appliances. So yes, there's a meal plan, but not everybody wants the full meal plan. We have alternate meal plan options, and some people cook themselves. And so you'll see a range of sizes in the independent apartments from 624 square feet all the way up to almost 1,500 square feet. And some apartments have patios or balconies as well. There's also some community patios and balconies throughout the building, several of them, as well as sunrooms. So all of that becomes your home.
Yeah, so it's not necessarily, you know, the end of the world if your individual apartment doesn't have a patio or balcony, because on every floor and every wing, there are sunrooms and there's balconies and patios. So it really is, you know, easy access to experience one of those within the community.
This is a cedar floor plan that we actually have available currently. We have it set up as a model. It is just under 800 square feet. It's a 1-bedroom, bath and a half. So there are some couples living in the cedar, or there's some singles living in a cedar also who have family or friends visiting quite often. And it's nice to have that extra half bath in the front hallway. But it's a nice size. And again, full kitchen. We are putting in these breakfast bars. So it's an open concept kitchen and with counter height stools, or however you want to set it up. Obviously, a little creativity goes a long way, and people can set these up in many different layouts, and but all neutral colors, just a warm and welcoming home. And this is the floor plan for the cedar. Again, it's a 1-bedroom, bath and a half, just under 800 square feet. And Linda, I think you're in a fir, aren't you? Which is a little bit larger than that.
A little bit larger, very comfortable. When we first started looking, and we did look here about 3 years before we made a decision. And when we saw our apartment, which was a model, we said, this is it, this is home. And we could envision our furniture, all of our belongings. And when we moved, I thought, oh, I don't think it's all going to fit, you know, so we took our time moving in. It is amazing how much we have in this apartment. We're, I think, 864 square feet or something like that. And it's just like we were living at our farm in Henniker. It's just cozy and wonderful. The one thing I do wish we had, because there are 2 of us, is the half bath. Invariably, one of us has to go when the other one is in the bathroom. So that half bath is a great benefit. So, but the apartment's wonderful. We love it. Very happy with it.
Yeah, and that's a great point. So this is just one floor plan. So we have about 10 different floor plans. So come give us a call, you know, ask about the floor plans, or request an information packet that has the floor plans in it as well. And that's a great first starting point. You know, come for a tour, come see the actual apartments, because sometimes you'll be surprised. You know, you may look at the picture, and then when you come to see it in person, it's a completely different perspective. So I think the best place to start is, you know, get an information packet, give us a call, and come see the community in person.
You have a tour of the cedar.
I do. So hopefully this works. So we're going to do a virtual tour of this cedar floor plan. So Jen, I don't know if you want to talk about what's in the images.
Yeah, so this is just looking at one of the hallways on the 3rd floor. The 3rd floor is 5 independent living wings, residential, all of it's residential. And if you actually walk the 3rd floor once, every wing, it's about half a mile. So you can get an incredible workout just walking the building all year long, if that's your wish. But we'll take a look at the next slide and look inside the apartment. So this is the cedar as you enter in the front hallway. The half bath, excuse me, is on the right here. And there's the hall doorway. There's also a nice place to put a little entry table and a coat closet. And Katie's just sort of spinning around the room here. The hallway there that goes down toward the bedroom. The kitchen, full-size appliances, excuse me, again. This is our newest granite countertop, nice bright light kitchens with the breakfast bar. And we're just zooming around here again in this space. Neutral colors go with everything. If an apartment is being renovated, when you happen to deposit, you may have choices on the colors of the carpet, the countertops, the cabinets, appliances. So there may be some options there, but you can see it's a nice light, bright apartment. And this would be sitting in the living room area, looking toward the kitchen and the hallway. Nice wall of windows when you walk into the cedar. Every apartment in the building can accommodate a queen bedroom set. So this is sparsely furnished, I would say, but there is so much. It's incredible. People will see a vacant apartment, then they'll see a model, and it's hard to believe sometimes it's the same size. You can fit so much furniture into these apartments. You can see each bedroom closet has a stackable washer dryer, which is really handy. Before this $22 million renovation, the apartments didn't have washers and dryers. People did their laundry on the wings. So that's a nice feature for sure. And the bathrooms are getting these new large vanities and walk-in showers with good grab bars. There's a medicine cabinet built into the wall that's mirrored, and they're all large and just very comfortable bathroom size.
Yeah, they're quite spacious.
Yeah, yep. And there's pull cords in the bedrooms, in the bathrooms also. You also receive a free pendant alarm when you move in. So that's one of the showers there in the medicine cabinet. So just nicely updated, basic, but very comfortable and good size. And this is a half bath.
So also quite a lot of space in here too.
Yep. Yep. If your family comes over, your friends are visiting, it's just a great option to have. And both the cedar and the garland floor plans have these half baths in the front entryways. These are just some of the closets, some still shots within the cedar apartment. The larger apartment you choose, the larger the closets typically.
We're back to the entryway.
All right.
So again, this is just one floor plan. So if you're interested in others or want to see what's available in our community, give us a call, ask for an information packet and, take a look.
And different floors are different color entrances. RiverWoods came in and added those more formal entryways to the apartment doors. So the fourth floor is a navy blue frame around the entryway, and third floor is the lighter blue. Second floor is golds and reds or dark reds, and they're just pretty colors. So each floor is a little different. This is actually a poplar, which is 1,425 square feet, 24 square feet, excuse me. You can see the open kitchen. These used to be the old pass-through kitchens. And when RiverWoods came in, we really gutted it, replumbed, opened up that area and made a more open concept kitchen with a breakfast bar. This particular poplar has a 38-foot living room. It is occupied, but there's two of those in the building. And we're seeing everything these days. Some people are coming in and actually connecting apartments once in a while and making even larger than this. So that has certainly happened in the past.
It's also, we've seen people come from very large houses and pick one of the smaller apartments. It's all a matter of lifestyle, because remember, it's not just the apartment you're getting, it's everything in the community. So you may find that you actually don't need one of the largest apartments. It's quite an interesting amount of stuff that you have just available to you.
This is a lot of space, and you're out and about so much doing things that you probably don't need this much space. It's almost like a small house. So lots of common areas on each floor. Some of the main areas are the library, which is resident run. We have lifelong librarians who are now librarians here in their community. Dining room terrace, of course, we're about to start renovating the terrace off the dining room, but there's a fire pit and heaters out there, and there's a nice canopy. And we're building a stone wall planter out there that's going to be lovely and match the one in assisted living. So as the outside of the building itself gets updated, also the terraces will. Private dining room for family parties, events, mailroom, tavern. We have a tavern committee. They have 2 cocktail parties a week. The living room here with fireplace, there's bridge groups, there's a light continental breakfast offered every morning, separate from our Dining Points program, which is included in the monthly fee. But this area has a 2-sided fireplace, and it's a delightful space for people to hang out and meet and enjoy time together. The MPR activities rooms, that's a new addition RiverWoods put on a couple years ago, as well as an art gallery wall. And the fitness room is open 24/7. You can go in anytime you want and work out. Again, our fitness coordinators can work with you one-on-one, or you can just go in and do your own thing or sign up for classes. There's a wood shop. There are 2 stores run by residents in the building. There is a country store, which is all dry goods, batteries, Kleenex, gift cards, candy bars, cereal, things like that. And then
Like a mini CVS.
yeah, then a secondhand boutique. And Linda, you're part of that, right?
I'm part of the country store, yes.
Mhm.
I volunteer there, and then I also started a little group. I'm it right now, but when people move in or move out, they might need some furniture or have something to give away. So I do a flyer maybe once a month or once every 3 weeks with people looking for things or people willing to give things away. So it's been received well, and it's come in quite handy. So yeah.
That's great. As Katie said, there's some of these patios, balconies, sunrooms. There's 8 or 9 of those around the building. You could just go hang out in these spaces or bring in friends. And it's just a lot of common areas here. Reading nooks, places to sit and have a glass of wine, a cup of coffee. Beauty salon that also does men's haircuts and manicures and pedicures. So that's wonderful having on site. And wide hallways. This building was actually built in the early 90s by both hospitals in the area who ran it for a while. But because of that, the hallways are much bigger than you might find in most communities. And it's a neat layout, and everyone who comes in really comments on the amount of space everywhere in comparison with some of the newer communities that are being built these days. This is our fitness room. We might have some small classes like this yoga class in the fitness room itself. Or again, people work one-on-one in there, or we can go in the room next door, the activities room, and really have a big class going. So there's several different types of classes to sign up for, and more now probably than we've had in the past. We're the second part-time person. Physical therapy is offered on an outpatient basis. Manchester VNA, Visiting Nurses Association, has an office right here in the building. So if you have a referral from your physician, you can get physical therapy, occupational therapy, speech therapy, either in the building or down the road at their office nearby, if that's the requirement. But it's really nice to have those folks in the building. You know, if you have a knee replacement or something, they can work right here in the fitness room with you or in your apartment, or you know, it's super convenient. There's also, by the way, both hospitals offer blood work every week. So you can get a blood draw right in the building once a week if you need it. Here, this is our resident art gallery. We have a show for a month or 2 at a time. It might be residents, resident family members, friends of the family, or it might be our watercolor class that hangs a show, or the art teacher that comes in from outside. So a lot of different possibilities. Sometimes people sell their items, and it's just a nice bright space for that purpose. And then we have the wood shop again, lots of tools. and storage, and a lot of neat things coming out of there. Some from recycled wood found on the campus, jewelry boxes and recipe card holders and all sorts of neat things. These are some of those common areas. So balconies, these are now loaded with some new furniture that we have, and residents usually put flowers out on these balconies every year. So they're just nice covered places to enjoy the outdoors. This one here on the left is the only one that has 3 steps out to the grass, and it's on the 3rd floor because we're built into the hillside. So really unique building, unique layout, and there's numerous balconies just like this one. Some have these rocking chairs or you know, new patio sets, and they're just lovely spaces. On the right, the enclosed sunroom. This is on our 4th floor, so it's got distant views, and those trees in the fall will be bright orange fairly soon. This obviously on the right is a winter shot, but it gets absolutely beautiful on this campus in the fall, and the colors are spectacular. And these sunrooms are great places to enjoy that, but also maybe work on puzzles or play bridge, or you know, just have your family in to visit. One of the sunrooms has musical instruments. There's string instruments on the wall. There's an upright piano, a couple of pianos, also a baby grand in the living room on the 2nd floor as well.
Linda, apart from the country store, what are some of your favorite spots within the community?
Oh gosh. Well, I love the country store, and that's a lot of fun, and it's a great gathering place. I love the tavern. I hadn't been going there, but I started going there this year, and I'm so glad I did. And my husband and I will frequent it, me more than my husband, but the tavern is great. I love the exercise room. Boy, the gallery is wonderful too, because we see so much talent, and it's amazing the amount of talent we have here within our walls. Some very clever people who make anything from ornaments to rocking chairs and wood baskets, and a lot of talent. I love the outside. I love walking around. The one nice thing we have here is our peripheral drive, Alliance Way, and that's a good half-mile loop. So it's great to go around a couple times a day with your dog, just to stroll. So I love the layout of how this building has been expanded, and the views. And we love our apartment because we're on the 3rd floor and we look out into the trees. So it's just like being at our farm. So many spots are very, very special. So
I know
something for everyone. Something for everyone.
Yes, right. I know some people walk up to the 4 existing cottages, and then they walk in the neighboring neighborhoods also, and they walk on our Alliance Way around our community. And it's very friendly here on the hilltop.
And the neighbors walk up here. And so we've all met a lot of the people who have actually said, we live up in the condos, and when it's time, we're just going to tumble down the hill and come in.
Right.
And move
And
in.
some already have. Yep.
They already have.
Yep. No, it's a nice neighborhood. And we have 2 little resident cleared trails on our campus too, I would add. This is our resident run library. And again, there's lifelong librarians who are able to work in here and manage all of this. We do accept donations. You can order books from the Manchester Library, and the staff will pick up and drop off. I think it's once a month. There is a book club. There's new releases, and just a lot of wonderful resources in there, large print books and so on. So a lot of opportunity there.
And the Manchester Public Library is a part of a network system. So it's not even just access to Manchester's public library, it's every library in New Hampshire. So you have quite a lot at your, disposal for requesting a book.
So what's included in the monthly fees? Housekeeping comes in every 2 weeks. They vacuum, dust, mop, clean the kitchen, clean the bathroom. Annually, they do a deep cleaning where they move your furniture, get under everything, and we do windows annually. So that's a nice thing included here, nice service. And you can add additional housekeeping as you age if you need to, as well as laundry services. Dining points program, everyone gets 18 dining points per day, which is the equivalent of what we call a bundled meal, which is soup, salad, entree, dessert, and drink. Or you can just go in and order a la carte, you know, just a burger and chips might be eight points, and then you have points left over for the next day or the next week. You can carry over up to a month's worth of unused points every month. And there's 3 alternate meal plans also, so you can ask us about that. Free light continental breakfast up on the 2nd floor, separate from the dining points program, just fruit pastry, coffee and tea. That's really nice. Sometimes it's a social hour too. Educational, social, physical, cultural, volunteer activities, you name it, there's things going on here. Fundraisers and silent auctions and craft fairs. There's presenters coming in. ELF committee was one of the resident run committees for years, education, learning, and fun. And I think they're talking about starting that up again. There's, presentations on the shuttles, and there's people in the building who have worked on these kinds of things. So it can be really interesting. There's an in-house resident run movie channel, you know, I mean, it's pretty endless, the things that are going on here, civics committee and such. Everyone, again, in independent living has up to 30 free days every year for a short-term respite stay, a short-term medical need. Pre-scheduled transportation is included. So Monday through Friday, they go shopping, they go on special outings to restaurants, museums, they go to Boston sometimes, or Portland or Portsmouth and other areas as well. And they also go to medical and dental appointments. So there's so much that can be done if you need transportation, or some people bring their car, of course, that's perfectly fine. But in the winter especially, this shuttle is wonderful. One of our shuttle drivers is a retired CPA that opened this place or worked on this and hired our director of finance 30 years ago. And now he's driving the bus. So there's a lot of relationships like that for people who just come back and love it so much. 24-hour staffing. So there's always someone in the building, 24-hour emergency response and facilities, you know, if the dishwasher breaks, you just call the front desk. So life becomes much easier here on the campus. And then all the utilities are included except for a landline, so a phone line. A lot of people are using just their cell phone these days, and cable TV. So those are things you would add when you move in. You have a storage cage for free. That's included in the monthly fee. You just put your own lock on it. So if you have holiday decorations or a bicycle or, you know, winter clothing to swap out, things like that, that storage cage is really convenient. And the winter car service. So in the winter, if there's 2 inches or more of snow on the ground, our guys all come in after the storm, clean off all the cars, move them for the plows, and then put them back in the same parking lot. So that is, Linda, do you have this service?
I love it.
I know.
Every house we've ever owned, we've had a garage, but the garage was so full of stuff that I could never put my car in it. So when we moved here, we had the option of a garage, but I said, you know, I don't need it because now I've got somebody who will clean my car off, and it's fabulous. And just an aside, if we have had a snowstorm or ice storm, whatever, that if they know you have to leave at 7 o'clock in the morning for an appointment, they will clean your car off ahead of time. So it's a wonderful service. It's fabulous. And we didn't need to bring 2 cars. We brought 1, but if you have 2 cars, then they can accommodate that. So yeah, it's great service.
And we do have some carports too that are $50 a month. So some people will choose a carport, but the free service is a pretty good deal. It's even in the summer, if they're painting, you know, they can move your car. So, or paving, excuse me. Other benefits, enhanced living for hire. So our nurse practitioner here 5 days a week in independent living oversees enhanced living staff, which is like aid companion services for hire and independent living. If your choice is to try and stay safer longer and not move over to the lodge, but to remain in your independent apartment for as long as possible, that can really help you stay in place. Visiting nurses, as we said, they have offered physical therapy, occupational therapy, speech therapy in the building if you need it on an outpatient basis. Weekly lab draws, blood pressure checks, vaccine clinics, free Rite Aid deliveries to the reception area here on campus. Everything is set up just to make life easier as you age. The wellness clinic with a nurse practitioner, complimentary pendant alarms. So you get a free pendant alarm when you move in that works on the campus here. And the pull cords in the bathrooms. And then there's also a motion sensor. So if it clicks on every 18 hours, and if it doesn't detect motion and you haven't told us that you're going away, then we'll do a personal care check to make sure somebody's not on the floor. So that's a great secure, safety system also. And then we do offer a benevolence clause. If you outlive your assets over time and are struggling to pay your monthly fees, you can apply for a subsidy, and that's a benevolence fund. So we can tell you more about that, but it's great because you don't have to leave the campus at a point where it would be more challenging to do so, and a move would be really hard. You can stay here. So how do I qualify? You fill out what is called a confidential data profile. And the first few pages are the financials, and then there's a health form, and we ask for also a list of your medications and diagnoses from your doctor's office. And we do an in-person assessment with our nurse practitioner. It's maybe 20 minutes, 30 minutes, and that's the qualification. And once you're in, that qualification is good for 3 months. If you don't deposit on an apartment or a wait list, we run your numbers again and do the same process over again. Once approved medically and financially, if you're taking an apartment, you put 10% down on the desired floor plan. We offer you a copy of the contract, so you get up to 60 days to close on the apartment and review that contract, sit down with us, ask questions, and then your monthly fees start at closing. And closing here is not a real estate closing, it's an insurance contract again. So you're paying the balance due at the entrance fee and signing the contract at the closing. Then your monthly fees start. Move-in timing is up to you. Some people move in on the closing day, some move in months later. They're paying the monthly fees, maybe less a meal plan if they're really not here yet. But we can tell you more about that as well. And then you just move in and enjoy meeting people and taking part in a lot of the great things that are going on here.
And another thing to add, because I know that a move can be, a little anxiety provoking. So to help make that move a little bit easier, once you're in the community, you have what's called a resident ambassador. So that resident ambassador helps introduce you to people, get to know more about your interests and your likes, and make sure that they're showing you everything within the community that you may fall in love with. They are, inviting you down to dinner, and, if they know you like X topic and they already know that someone else likes the topic of X, then, you'll be introduced and hopefully meet a whole bunch of people from the get-go. So it just makes life easier, and they can be used to answer any questions and sort of be another resource within the community apart from the people that you've talked to so far.
Linda, have you been an ambassador?
I have. I have someone now I'm waiting to get more familiar with. We have a nice handbook that we give to new residents when they move in. We try not to inundate them with information at first, just introduce ourselves and say, here we are, if you need any help. So I've helped people turn on their disposal because they didn't know where it was, or how to fix their shower thing. And as well as talk about the community and what it offers and answer any questions. So it's very beneficial. Some people take great advantage of it. Some people just say, okay, give me the book, I'm good. I'm on my own, which is fine, but they always know they have somebody that they can turn to. And this is such a friendly community that anyone is going to answer any questions if somebody is lost, doesn't know which way to go or whatever. It's a very supportive community.
So our suggestion is always that you make a plan. It may be a CCRC, which offers the best value financially and great healthcare by staff who know you. But if you're an older adult, don't wait, make a plan, choose your change now. And the sooner you do, certainly in a CCRC, you'll save so much money over time and get the best quality care. So make a plan. And Linda, we're going to go to Q&A in a second. So, if attendees have any questions, you can type them into the Q&A box, certainly. And Linda or we can answer any questions you may have.
Sure.
And another thing that's commonly asked is, when do people move in? And so the answer that we always like to give is before you need it. That's the whole point of a CCRC. It's not that you need any care right now or in the near future. It's that you're in control of what that looks like. You know who's going to be giving you the care. You know what standard it looks like. You have the ability to see friends go through it within the community and get, more of a firsthand view. And again, you may be in independent living your entire life. You may not even touch healthcare, but it's you being proactive and being in control. So actually, a lot of our move-ins lately have been on our youngest age, 62 and 63. And, they aren't needing any healthcare, but, they want to make sure that they are ready for if and when it happens. So the trend is going younger and younger as people are getting more knowledge about CCRCs and, deciding what their future is going to look like.
And our average age has moved up. I started here in 2016 and I think it was around 84, 85 at that point. Now our average age is 78. People are skipping the townhouse condo phase after retirement and moving into CCRCs directly, and we are definitely seeing that change. So it's kind of neat.
I think that COVID had a big impact on this, because suddenly the world was met with an emergency and people started asking, do I have a plan? And so ever since COVID, the amount of inquiries and the amount of people coming to move in and view the community has been, very much increased.
It really is a neighborhood, all ages, and it's wonderful. So
go ahead.
I was just going to say, feel free to type in your questions in the Q&A box. And Linda, I was going to ask you, you've been involved in several different things here on the campus, but if you want to tell us a little bit about what you're doing, you became a trustee, right? You joined the board of trustees.
Yes,
recently.
I did, and I'm very pleased that I did. I've worked my whole life, and of late I was a real estate broker, and I said when I move here after I get settled, my husband and I get settled, I want to give up my real estate and I want to be part of a community. I've worked so much that I've never been part of a community in my town. So I started volunteering for several things, the country store and various other things, a couple of volunteer groups. And then a couple of the residents suggested that I put my name in as a board trustee, CCRC board trustee for RiverWoods Manchester. So I did, not being very, very astute on boards of directors, but it has been a great experience. I have learned so much, and and to see the bigger picture, understand how this whole community here, but our 3 campuses work under one umbrella is pretty amazing. And the sincerity and the professionalism and the wise looking to the future thoughts and plans is amazing. So I think for anyone considering moving to a CCRC, go around, check them out, see what's out there, and factor everything. And I think if you come here to Manchester, you'll find it to be very friendly and very, very wonderful spot. And you can do as much or as little as you want. You can volunteer. You don't have to do anything. You don't even have to come to dinner or see anybody. You can come and go on your own. It's there's no pressure, but being able to volunteer and get involved in some community activities has been very beneficial for me and my husband. So yeah, come check us out.
Some people are working, coming in,
Mhm.
working part-time or
Yeah.
commuting or Zooming and or consulting.
Absolutely. And I did the
Seeing it
same
all.
thing. I worked for the first 3 years we were here. So I did my real estate from here, and it was perfect. It was perfect. And of course, this is such a great location. You can get to anywhere from here easily. So
I would say also people from RiverWoods, Exeter and Durham are also touring here and moving in, and they're also finding it to be just a great mix of people here and a lot of fun. So
it is.
can you tell us a little bit about the resident council?
The resident council is a great group of people who volunteer and participate on a council where we as residents have an avenue to bring our concerns, our questions to our CEO, CFO, but not individually having to inundate everyone. So what we have is the resident council. If somebody has a concern, they submit it to the resident council. Then the resident council meets once a month. We review whatever the questions or issues are, and then we address them. And if it means talking to upper management, or if it means talking to the lawn mowing guy, we know what to do and where to go. And it makes a good liaison and crossover to help the community be in touch with the operation and vice versa. The operation, once we know what's going on, we can share that with the community. So the resident council is a very integral part of this, and each campus has it, and it works very, very well.
So one thing I just want to add for what you're viewing on your screen, if you like the webinar today and just want to join us for other events. So this is our next event. It's what you need to know about Medicare. It's useful to everybody regardless of where you are in your life. So there's 2 ways to register for this event if you're interested. We do have the website link listed at the bottom. You can just feel free to type that into your computer. But we also have a QR code. So the way a QR code works is if you have a phone, you just need to go as if you're going to take a picture and then hold that up to the screen. And then that QR code should give you a clickable button to head straight to the website. And you can just put your name in and an email, and you'll get a link to the next event, and you'll get to hear my voice again because I am hosting that one. But that's a great, informational session to learn more about the topic. And we have various events, so it's not just that one coming up. So check out our website for other interesting topics we've got going on.
Well, it looks as though that's all we have for questions. So anything else that you can tell us about, Linda or Katie?
Well, there's lots of things. I need some time to put them down, but it's all pluses. I have to say, between my husband and I, we have no negative comments about RiverWoods Manchester at all. It's a fabulous place. The food is great. People are great. It's just super. And I will just add one thing. Probably not a week goes by that we don't say we're so happy we're here. And that was especially true during COVID. We moved here before COVID, so we had a chance to be involved and see how great this community is. They took such good care of this whole community, all the staff, nurses, maintenance, cleaning, food. They did everything to make life comfortable for us. Even though we were quarantined in our apartments, we were never alone. We always could be in touch with someone, and they kept us clean. Our halls were disinfected, door handles to public areas like the mailroom. They took great care of us, and we were very happy we were not on our farm out in the middle of Henniker when COVID struck, because it was fabulous to be here. We were not alone. So
Thank you for that. Yeah. One of the things RiverWoods did was to turn our fitness room into a grocery store. So our country store was expanded. 2 people could shop, 6-foot distances, of course, at a time, but it just, so many of the dry goods, but also cold products from the dining room can still be ordered. So it takes away the need to go to the grocery store as often. But they did things like that just made life so much easier. And there was still a BYOB gathering, you know, when people weren't quarantined. So it was nicely controlled, but people could still engage and remain active. And I think that was so important. We had people moving in all the way through, and we're glad that they did.
Yeah.
So.
And now they're seeing, they didn't have a chance to see how wonderful this place was before they moved in. When they moved in, it was in COVID, so they moved in and had to stay in their apartments. So now that we're kind of back up and running and doing some more things, they're seeing how wonderful it is and how wonderful it will continue to be as we all come back to life and get back to normal. Day trips and socials and meetings and fun stuff. We need fun stuff now.
Concerts, lectures, it's all here. So.
That's right.
Well, thank you so much, Linda, for joining us today. I don't think we have any other questions, and thank you, Katie.
Absolutely.
And just reach
All right.
out to either Katie or myself, who will be happy to answer any questions that you have.
And we'll see you at the next event.